is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information.
Jay Sekulow is chief counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice and joins us now. You just heard Rudy Giuliani weighing in on his analysis of what has transpired here. What is your take?
Well, I did the same thing that Rudy Giuliani did. I looked up the words extremely careless in the legal dictionaries and looked at the case law, and it became clear. Extremely careless is gross negligence. Gross negligence under the statute is a felony. So Jim Comey laid out, and I have a lot of respect for Jim, but I'll tell you something. The fix was in on this from the beginning. We saw the beginning of it last week when Bill Clinton entered Loretta Lynch's airplane. I have no idea what took place in there. Maybe it was get your wife in to get the testimony done. We're wrapping this thing up, because gross negligence is extreme carelessness. That is just fact. So the reality is, Jim Comey said there was a crime here. He just decided not to prosecute it. But he was clear, Kim. He said there was, in fact, without any doubt, gross negligence. His wording, extreme carelessness. That is gross negligence under the law. That's a violation. That's a crime. This, frankly, is absurd, and the American people have had one pulled on them.
Well, and, a lot of people tweeting, including Republican nominee Donald Trump, saying that this is an example of a rigged system. How can you reconcile it for the viewers at home, and especially when the FBI, yes, they can make a recommendation. He said he wanted to be transparent and, in fact, state what his recommendation was to Loretta Lynch and preface it with no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges in this case.
Yeah.
Sounds like judge and
what a
jury.
waste of the taxpayers' money that it took a year for them to determine that. That's number one. Number two, if the intent was all they were focusing on, they should have interviewed her, a year ago. That would have been helpful. Number three, it's the wrong standard. And there's something else here that is really, I think, upsetting to the American people. Look, at the end of the day, Loretta Lynch was going to have to make this call one way or another. But when we know those emails from Hillary Clinton went to Barack Obama, that case was never being prosecuted. And that's why I call this a faux investigation. It was a faux investigation from the start. It concluded as a faux investigation. Jim Comey ran out of that room today. Why? He ran out of that room because some reporter was going to ask him, excuse me, Mr. Director, but isn't extreme carelessness gross negligence under the statute? And the answer to that, of course, would be yes, and that would be the violation of the law. But he didn't want to answer any questions. So they're trying to put this away politically. But again, the American people have been the ones duped here. But I think the American people understand exactly what's at play. And where Donald Trump's right is the fix was in on this. It's not just a rigged system. It's a system that has a complete disregard for the rule of law, and that doesn't bode well for America.
All right. Well, one thing, we've got concurrence here between Jay Sekulow and Rudy Giuliani. Thank you for joining us, Jay. And ISIS